messages for anybody that happens to see this, if it's something that you maybe need to hear, or it's just like divine timing. Whenever you do hear this, just take what you want and leave the rest. It's not going to be anything fancy. Let's see what we got. Okay, first card. We have the Five of Cups. So I pulled a five yesterday, I believe, when I did this, and five is about conflict, and we can tell by looking at this picture that this person is not happy. This is a Cups card, so that has to do with emotions, feelings, matter of the heart. And you can tell just by looking at this card that there's grief. So this is a very big thing right now. This time of year, collectively, holidays are really hard for people. So this is kind of the same message that's coming through, where it's like there's a lot of grief and a lot of pain and a lot of things that come up right now. The thing is with this card is this person is choosing to look at the three cards the three cups that are laying down. They're focused on what they've lost. They're literally looking down. They're sad, they're upset. But my relationship with this card is if this person would just change their perspective, if they would turn around, they would see that there are still two cups standing, that not all is lost and there is still hope. So this is a message for those of you that are grieving or tired or upset or sad. Just knowing that like not all is lost. You know what I mean? Like you might feel like it is, but it's about turning around and looking at the rest of your life and the rest of the things you have that are really great. Um, if you follow Abraham Hicks, you would know Abraham Hicks says, like there's certain things everybody wants. Everybody wants money, relationships, security, stability, love, health. Like the big three were like relationships, money, and health. And let's say that we have five things that are going on in our life, and four of them are awesome and one of them is shitty. Well, if we focus on the one shitty one, it brings down the vibration of everything. Where on the other hand, we could have only one great thing in our life and four really shitty things. And if we focus on the really great thing, then everything else has to come up and meet it, right? And I was just shuffling in a card that fell out, and I love this. This is the one card that doesn't usually belong in this deck, but it's a little extra card. It's called Everything is Awesome. And I think that's just a reminder again that like focusing on the positive and focusing on the best you can. Trust me, there are days when it's like impossible, it feels like, right? And on those days, the best thing to do is to not force it. Here's the advice, when you can't get there from there. If we're like in the deepest rut and we're feeling like ass, like the worst thing to do when you are down is to try to manifest or to try to like fix things, right? The best thing to do is to take a nap. The best thing to do is to go for a walk. It's to, open up a book, turn on a TV show, like do whatever you can to distract yourself from the negative thoughts and reset yourself. Maybe you have to do that 5 times throughout the day. But when you're in a place where you're not feeling the best mentally, that is not the place to act from. It's not the place to have the conversation. It's not the place to do any of those things. Remember, we want to respond, not react. So let's see. Let's get another card. Hello. What else do we have? Oh, we had two come out. Oh, so we had two aces come out. So we had the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands. I can tell that the energy just shifted based on the people that jumped on the call. So, okay, so aces, new beginnings, right? I love the depiction in these cards, right? Because look at them. They're both hands. They're both like holding you out an opportunity and saying, here, look what I have for you. Take this. So the cups, this is again matters of the heart, relationships, romance, new creative ideas, new things to make your heart happy, new things to make you feel good about yourself. And then wands, that's that fire energy, right? That's again, that's creativity, that's lust, that's that like sacral chakra, like new adventure, new jobs, new ideas. So somebody that's watching this right now, like you're being presented with, the opportunity for one of these two things. But the message that I'm hearing is that it doesn't look like it normally looks like to you. And because it doesn't look like it usually looks like to you, or doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, you're missing an opportunity. So it's really funny. Personal example is I've never been attracted to bald men. And I actually did a TikTok the other day about the epidemic of men going bald in their early 30s and down in their 20s. And the last couple of days of my new gym, I've seen very attractive bald men. And I'm like, maybe I missed the boat on that one. Maybe I was looking in one place and I was blocking myself off because I was so close-minded and narrow-minded about something that I didn't realize there's all these other beautiful opportunities in front of me, right? So think about it. Think about how these things that are being presented to you, and maybe one, let your ego go to the side, or two, be willing and be open to like try something new. think outside of the box. Now, that's not the same thing as saying like these are my standards and these are boundaries I have and these are things that I want, but there are like little things that are different that you can let go. And even it's just for like a learning experience and seeing how things go. See, then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So again, this is a beautiful card. This is really great energy today. It started off with five, and then now we're getting really positive. I'm pretty sure that once we move into 2026, yeah, we are going to be in a Wheel of Fortune year. So currently we are in a Hermit year. Two plus two plus five is nine. The nine is Hermit in tarot, and then this is the 10 card, right? So two plus two plus six is 10. So collectively, we're about to move into this energy. The Wheel of Fortune, this is a card of fate. This is a card of good karma. This is a card of, wonderful things to come. I really feel like the emphasis lately has been on this idea of staying positive and looking at the good things and like having a more positive belief system. Again, we have days where we feel like shit and it's not that fucking easy. And that's one of those days when you just flip on your fucking favorite show to binge and have a good laugh, or eat a bowl of your favorite ice cream, or get a can of the good old chicken noodle soup from when you were a kid that makes you feel better. Those feel like very specific things. Like there is literally like a specific food from your childhood that made you feel good, and you consider it like a special cheat or a treat, but like that's something that you should normalize, like consuming if it makes you feel good or like reminds you of like somebody or something from the past. So it's like a message of like trusting that like there's divine timing and that everything is always working out for you. And also there's a friendly reminder of karma, right? And remembering like how karma pays out. And if you know in your heart that have always like done right by your heart and the universe and whatever higher power you believe in, and you can like really trust in like your own karma, and then why would you ever question? Like, why would you question the good that was coming, right? If you like know your own heart and you know that you're the way that you've done things. Let's pull another. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So I don't read reversed, FYI. Some of these have come out reversed. So if you do read or you do follow tarot, this one was reversed and so was Ace of Wands. So there's two parts of this. The Pentacles, this is earth energy, grounding, money, abundance, stability. But this person is holding on too tight. Like they're holding on for dear life. And sometimes we have to let go a little bit. Sometimes we have to be, again, this goes along with these Ace of Cups, right? We have to be willing to like let go of the reins just a little bit. It's very like Virgo, uptight type energy. We have to be willing to let go. Also, there's a message of like looking at your spending and trying and figuring out really like how are they saying this? Sorry, hang on. Somebody is spending, has like, the idea of like, so you look through your subscriptions and you're like, holy shit, I did not know that I had like 4 Amazon Prime videos and I'm spending $80 a month on that. If you're hearing this, go check because it feels like there are people who are like really tight on money and they don't understand that they're losing money in other places, right? So whether it's like you have subscriptions that you don't need anymore, that you don't know that you have, you're getting like somebody's getting like overcharged for things. Also, like it does not do a harm to shop different insurance companies, right? Like, somebody very much feels like, you could shop insurance and be like, wow, I can get car insurance here for 300 less dollars. And if I bundle my phone with my internet, I actually can get a free phone and like $200 off. So be looking, for those of you, if you're feeling like you're tight with money, be looking into things like that, bundling phone and email, or internet, rechecking the insurance, paying in full. If you can pay in full for 6 months, you save money over time, things like that. And then make sure that you're like not being skimmed off the top with like subscriptions or things that you didn't know that you had signed up for. And then, when we have credit cards, sometimes they have like annual fees, and if somebody feels like they're going to get charged soon for like an annual fee or something that they don't know about for a card they don't use. Maybe that's me. So be checking that too, because somebody might have like some money that's about to come out and be like, shit, where did that go? And you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was about to come out. So a heads up for that. And then I was just getting ready to pull one and a bunch tried to come out. So I'll pull one more. We have the Queen of Swords. So when we see these kinds of cards, the queens, the kings, the pages, and things like that, these are suits, and these either represent your energy, the energy that you need to be embracing, the energy of somebody around you, the energy of somebody coming into your life. So swords, this is air energy. This is thought systems, the way that we think, the way that we communicate with each other. The queen, she is very direct. She is very independent. There is no bullshit. So if you've listened this far, or you're just catching this part, or you're hearing this, like, know that, like, the more direct you are, like, look at her hand, look at her gesture. The more direct you are with the way that you communicate, the better. This isn't about being a bitch. It's not about being an asshole. It's not about, like, these are my boundaries and you cross them. Now, a friendly reminder too on that note, that, like, our boundaries are about us. They're not about other people's behaviors. But this is saying at this point in time, especially because there are such issues in the collective with communication and social media and the things that you're really distraught, making sure that you're being very direct, very clear, not leaving room for misinterpretation, right? We do not have hard, difficult conversations over text because there is no tone, right? So if you need to send a message to somebody because you can't wait, you got to get off your chest, literally spirits like send a voice clip so they can interpret your tone. Because a lot of messages get misinterpreted and misread because they should be a face-to-face conversation or a conversation with tone so we can understand, like, oh, right. So, like, for example, I had sent a voice clip to my assistant last month about something, and I was clearly joking and laughing. She hit transcribe and read the first sentence, and that's all she wrote. She wanted to stab me after that, hence the Queen of Swords. That's kind of funny. And I was like, maybe if you would have listened to the voice clip, you would have heard my tone, and you would have seen that, like, I wasn't being serious, right? So, being direct, being straightforward. Also, somebody like this is sometimes we need a little bit of independence in our life. We need to do things on our own. Remember, we are at the very end of this hermit year. The hermit card, hermit energy for the collective is very much about going inside. It's not about a journey in self. It's about shutting out other people's, it's not about loneliness. It's about shutting out other people's opinions and other people's voices and literally going within to yourself and tapping into your own knowledge and your own experience and figuring things out that way, right? So there is a need in these last few weeks of the year to embrace that a little bit more for a lot of people who are very codependent, very anxious attachment, to be like, I'm going to lean into this for just a couple weeks. I can be resilient. I can be resilient. I can rely on myself. So I challenge you, if you're hearing this, to give yourself until the end of the year to literally go within and take care of yourself. Do not ask other people for reassurance for you. Trust that everything is working out for you. Do not ask other people for their advice. Trust that what you are choosing for yourself is the right choice. And I guarantee by the time you get to the end of the year and you'll realize that you're okay and you can do those things, going into the new year, you're going to be like, wow, I didn't realize how much I could actually depend on myself and that I don't need other people to regulate me. So, one more message with anxious attachment: it's not anybody else's job to regulate you. Now, if you're in a relationship with somebody or a friendship with somebody and you're well aware that your communication style needs something, you can say to your partner, hey, it makes me really anxious when you don't text me until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd really appreciate it if I just got a good morning and then you just, let me know how your day was going to be and when I could expect to hear from you. Cool. And if your partner can't do that, hate to break it to you, they're not the partner for you. Now, what you can't do is sit around all day long and be anxious and then, get that dopamine hit when they message you at 4 o'clock and then put all your happiness in their hand. So, my lecture about being an anxious or avoidant attachment will come another day. So I hope that if you heard this, any part of it resonated with you, that it helped you, and have a glorious rest of 2025 sitting in that hermit energy and get excited about the Wheel of Fortune year coming.